Okay, let's look at the corollary of midpoint connector theorem. Alright, it says this. In triangle ABC, say M is the midpoint of AB. So right here. And MN, N is just a point between A and C. And MN is parallel to BC. Then N is automatically the midpoint of AC. Right, so let's do that. So let's prove line 1. M is the midpoint of segment AB, so that's given. And also segment MN is parallel to segment BC, that's given. Right, so 3. Let's assume that the N is not the midpoint of segment AC. So here's the assume that the opposite of what we want to say. So N is not the midpoint of segment AC. Right? So this is just the assumption for indirect proof. Right? So if it's not the midpoint, there should be a midpoint. So 4, let N prime be the midpoint of segment AC, right? So we can construct it. So I guess the justification would be construction theorem, right? So we're going to construct N prime so that this is congruent to that, right? Then by midpoint connector theorem, because this M is a midpoint, N prime is a midpoint. So if you look at this midpoint connector, M N prime, this has to be parallel to BC, right? So according to midpoint connector theorem, we know that M N prime must be parallel to segment BC. Right, so this is by midpoint connector theorem. Right, and but this is a contradiction. This contradicts the fact that there's another parallel line through M to BC. And remember that we cannot have two different parallel lines through the exterior point by using parallel axiom 1p1. Right? So this is a contradiction because you can see that there is 1 and there's 2 parallel lines through M. That violates the axiom P1, right? So therefore, 6. We know that the assumption we had was wrong, so N is indeed the midpoint of segment AC. Right, so this is a rule of elimination. Right? That's that. Alright, so that's the proof. So if you know that the line goes through the midpoint of AB and a parallel to BC, it's going to actually automatically go through the midpoint, which is N, of segment AC. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.